Hello everyone, I am Daryl.
I'm Han Min.
Today we are very excited because we are going to do a project analysis of the first new launch of 2025, the Orie.
This is very exciting because this is gonna be the first new launch in Toa Payoh in the past 9 years. So we understand that for the previous two launches, right, in EOK and Chuan Park, it may be a very stressful process. So we are here to see how we can assist you guys on that.
So hopefully this video we can help you if you are considering getting a unit in Orie and which unit you should prioritize if today you should get a good queue number and hopefully you don't want to end up buying the wrong unit. So moving on to the project information, the Orie will be located at Lorong 1 Toa Payoh. We will have a total of 777 units with 2 blocks of 40-story level high.
The key thing is that Orie is going to be developed by a very renowned developer, namely CDL, Fraser's Property and Sekisui. The preview is going to set to happen on 3rd of January and the launch date will likely be on the 18th of January. So the estimated TOP is going to be 2030, but knowing CDL, right, most of the time their TOP is going to happen earlier.
So let's take a look at where Orie will be located. So the Orie, right, will be 5 minutes away from Braddell MRT. And we are directly next to Gem Residences. So if you know, Gem Residences was the last launch back in 9 years ago. Right now, the Orie will be the newest in this Toa Payoh area.
The key point here is there's not many projects actually in Toa Payoh area. I think we have a total of 3 to 4, correct?
4 projects.
Four total. So there's actually a mix of new and old projects. And in total, right, we have 2 blocks, which one is north facing, right? And the other one is facing south towards the city view. So in terms of connectivity, we have a total of 3 expressway. The first one being your CTE, right? Second one is your PIE, and the last one will be your future north-south corridor. And that will actually help to alleviate the traffic congestion.
Improve the congestion.
During the peak hours.
So just to orientate on the site, if you take a look, we are surrounded by HDBs, but most of them are not that tall. We actually have 12-story, the lowest one actually being only 4 stories.
Yeah, towards the south side is just the lowest.
Correct. So the south side, I think we might be able to even see some fireworks, maybe during National Day, this kind of things.
That's the city view.
Correct, but this is maybe only lah, not definitely can lah.
Correct.
And if you think about it, right, in Toa Payoh, the newer housing in Toa Payoh, it's always about the views lah. What kind of view can you get if you were to spend money or you were to buy a house around this area? I think it comes down to the view and what the project can provide lah. So in terms of the direction, if you look towards the north side, right, that's where we will actually be able to see, we'll be heading towards Bishan, Ang Mo Kio, that kind of area.
Right. If you look far enough, then maybe you can see Woodlands itself also.
Okay, a bit of Woodlands lah.
Right.
Okay, and then eastern side, that's where we will reach the Bidadari and Potong Pasir area. So the blocks that's facing southern side, then I think they'll be able to get the city view lah. Okay, so this is an illustration of how the level 40-story view will look like.
Right, and it's gonna be very iconic because this is the only project, right, with this kind of high floor level. So in terms of the amenities, you really don't have to worry much about it. We are surrounded by your food court, your wet market, your supermarket at block 93 and 95, just behind Orie itself.
Around this area lah, I guess.
Yeah.
So in terms of connectivity, if we walk to Braddell MRT, then we're 1 stop away from Toa Payoh MRT. We also can actually go to Bishan interchange, and then that's where we can take 3 stops to Serangoon next area, where I think there's a lot of food, this
shopping
kind of
and everything.
Shopping, correct. Now talking about the transformation in this area, as you know, right, Toa Payoh is a very old and mature estate. But however, the government is actually planning for a future transformation here. So this will be an integrated hub, this integrated development, and it's set to be completed in around 2030. Then there will be polyclinics, a sports center, library, and even a town park lah. In terms of sports center, Toa Payoh being a very old and mature estate lah, you must understand how the government looks in terms of their transformation and what they are planning to do. So when government brings sports center, they bring in these kind of places like the library. These are not really meant for the elderly, I believe. It's more to attract the young buyers, young families to enter into Toa Payoh. And that's where actually young buyers equivalent to young money. That's where they actually can
help with the demand and everything.
Correct.
And that's where you will actually push up the prices as well.
Correct. And not to mention as well, I think we explained already, the north-south corridor as well. Young families coming to stay at Toa Payoh, if let's say now, I believe the traffic thing, it goes back to traffic congestion. But now with this north-south corridor as well, it can even get these young families, if they want to stay in Toa Payoh and they want to exit Toa Payoh to go to work and all, it will just help with the flow basically.
Then as for the school itself, right, we have very, very good schools that are within 2 km itself from Orie. We have schools like your Pei Chun, your CHIJ, your First Toa Payoh Primary School, and also your King Chun School. So why is actually schools important? Is because in future, right, when you're looking at selling to your potential buyers, young families would actually be looking at buying a condo that's near to all these good schools. So this will actually help to improve the demand of the unit as well.
I think this goes well with the transformation of the area as well.
Correct.
You will attract more young buyers to this area. So taking a look at the site map, we have 2 blocks, Block 10 and Block 12. Now Block 10, right, over here you will be facing the north side, which is the level 12 story HDBs. Now this will be the south side where you get the 4-level story HDBs.
So in terms of the unit type, right, we're looking at 1 bed plus study, all the way to 5-bedder with private lift. Okay, in terms of the block to block distance, right, we are looking at 43 meter, which is very good distance. It's actually about half a football field size.
Facilities wise, you actually have the swimming pool over here, the tennis court over here, and then a clubhouse right over here. You actually have a total of 3 side gates. So 1 side gate over here, 1 side gate over here, and lastly over here. So this side gate will get you closest to Brother MRT. And then if you want to go to the supermarket, wet market I mean, this is where actually you exit through here, which is just behind, correct, towards the south side.
Now let's talk a little bit more about the facade. Okay, the developer actually wanted to be more fancy so they actually have this what we call the RC ledge, right, the reinforced concrete, right. So not to worry is that you are not actually paying for this RC ledge itself, right. So we just want to address, right, in terms of, let's say you have a very good queue number and you can actually choose, right, we're actually advised to take the unit that is not directly above the RC ledge itself. The reason why is because, let's say there is heavy rain or anything like this, right, or let's say your neighbor throws something down, right, there might be some dust and everything collecting at this RC ledge itself, so will not look that nice. Okay, so that's only if, let's say, you have the very good queue number and you can choose
try to avoid it.
It's not saying you totally cannot buy, just if you have the luxury of it, you try not to select this unit. And also, let's say if you are the unit directly below the RC ledge itself, we also advise try not to go for it. It's because it might get a bit dark over there.
Not saying cannot buy
Not saying cannot buy.
Correct.
But just if, let's say,
try
you have
to avoid if you can.
Correct.
So we'll move on to analyzing the 1 bedroom plus study. So 1 bedroom plus study, we actually have a 517 square feet. We are looking at stack 4 and 14. Now stack 4 will be facing the main road and of course the level 12 HDBs. And then stack 14 will be the level 4 story HDBs.
And in terms of the layout wise, right, we are looking at a pretty standard kind of layout. Okay, when we take a closer look at the master bathroom itself, right, it's actually a Jack and Jill kind of concept whereby you have a double entrance. One coming from the master bedroom itself and one you can enter from the living room from the dining area. Okay, so in terms of the study room, right, it can also be enclosed, and what most people usually like to do for this kind of enclosable study room, right, is that they can actually turn it into a storeroom itself for extra storage.
So let's take a look at how the 1 bedroom plus study rental fares. We take a look at Gem Residences. I think it's the most apple to apple comparison. The estimated rental right now is about 3,000. And we are using an average of 2,005 PSF for Orie.
For estimation purposes.
For estimation, correct. So the purchase price estimated is about 1.2925 million.
Correct.
And if you take a look, the estimated gross rental yield is only about 2.78%.
Not say super good rental yield, to be honest, because I think a decent rental yield will be looking at about 3 to 3.1%. Even at that point, right, you might not be able to cover your mortgage.
Yeah,
itself.
I don't think it can cover.
So now at 2.78, I think it will be even far off. I mean, since it's not so good actually for rental wise, right, you might actually consider using this as a stepping stone to use as for your own stay first, maybe to stay near to your parents, near to town, and also near to amenities first. And then eventually taking the profits, and then you can upgrade to a much bigger unit.
Moving on to the 2-bedroom, 1-bath analysis. Now, this one, I think I just want to point out right now that we feel, right, that this is the first unit on launch day to go.
Right.
Like, it'll be the first to sold out.
Right.
Yeah. And the reason for that, because it's 592 square feet.
Very rare.
Correct. Really very rare in today's market to find a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Okay, so we take a look at the site. It's actually stacked 5 and 15. Same facing same facing.
North and south.
Yeah, but maybe we want to take a look at the layout and point out some important factors. Right. So if you can see, the developer actually provided for us a kitchen that actually has a window.
Very, very rare. It's super rare to find this kind of kitchen, right, with windows, especially in a 2-bedder. I think it's super rare. Usually only the 3-bedder and above, right, we will see this kind of thing.
So you can actually enclose your kitchen over here. And you still get ventilation, you still get light, some sunlight as well. So it won't be so dark if you enclose it.
Right. And also in terms of the bathroom, right, it's very similar to your this 1-bedder itself. We also have a Jack and Jill concept, right? So it opens both ways, one from the master room itself and one from the dining area.
Lastly, if you take a look at the dining area, this is the part where actually you have sort of a segregated dining space.
A proper dining space.
A proper dining space. Because if you can see over here, right, it doesn't block your living room.
Yeah.
It doesn't block your path, especially when you come from the entrance of your house. It doesn't get in the way of it.
Yes, and it's not visible from the main door as well.
Correct. If you're having dinner, you're eating, then that's where from the entrance, if you leave your door open, then that's where people can actually take a look.
And lastly, right, is that all the rooms, right, you can see we are able to fit a queen size bed. Right, it's very, very rare because especially for your common bed itself.
So right now we'll do a comparison of the 1-bedroom plus study versus the 2-bed 1-bath. Now in terms of using an estimator of 2005 PSF, the only difference will be 187,000.
You're just paying only 187,000 more for one proper bedroom, okay, and also one enclosable kitchen with windows. So what does it mean to have a kitchen with windows, right? Is that you do get to have your gas stove. So that is very, very rare for a 2-bedder, because usually only for the 3-bedder and above, right? Then you will get to have your gas stove. To us, right, there's actually a lot of value over here to pay the extra 180,000+.
And we look at the 2-bedroom in Gem Residences. Again, we use the rental in terms of the 2-bedroom. Estimated rental is about 3,008, and then we use an average of 2005 PSF again, which will bring us to about 1.48 million.
Yes.
The estimated gross right now for the rental yield is about 3.08%.
Correct.
Which is quite decent already.
It will be much better than just now the 1-bed plus study.
Correct.
So today, right, if let's say you do already have that budget, right, we will strongly, advise to go for this 2-bed 1-bath layout.
So taking a look at the 2-bed 2-bath analysis now, we actually have two types. So we actually have the B2 646 square feet. Now this will be the inner facing already. Stack 1 and your stack 11 full facing already.
So in terms of when we zoom into the layout itself, right, we are looking at an enclosable kitchen again. Right, this is the crowd favorite. This one will be your dumbbell layout. Right, but when we look at the kitchen area, right, we notice that the basin area, we can only put a lower cabinet because that one will be your glass area, right? And we
don't
also
have the window also.
Correct. This one wouldn't have the window. And in terms of your bathroom wise, right, it's gonna be your Jack and Jill for this common bath.
So I think this one we can convert If you wanted to convert into a ensuite for the common bedroom,
right,
then you actually can convert the bath number 2 into the ensuite.
Into like a master as well. So there will be potentially 2 master for this one.
Okay, so this is the second type B3, second 2-bed 2-bath, 678 square feet. Now this one is same facing as well, inner facing, stack 10 and stack 20. So you also get the full view. But the difference right now, this is going to be a traditional layout as compared to the other two, which are the dumbbell layouts. So looking at the layout, this one, this will be an open concept kitchen. So you're not able to enclose it.
Right.
But you do get a proper dining space. So I think that's a good thing as well. And if you are someone who actually prefers the traditional layout, then this is the only layout that you can actually consider.
Right. Then you'll be the unique in that way. Okay, then in terms of your kitchen area, right, just now we were talking about it. In terms of your cabinet, right, you can only do a bottom cabinet as well at the basin area because that is your glass backing over there. Then in terms of your bathroom, right, the difference between this layout B3 one versus the B2 one, right, is that for this one, it's not a Jack and Jill, it's the traditional kind.
So now we'll be looking at the 2 bed 1 bath in comparison to the 2 bed 2 bath. Based on 2005 PSF again, this is the estimated pricing for all 3 types.
Right, so the difference between B1 and your B2, right, which is the 2 bed 1 bath versus the B2 2 bed 2 bath, the price difference is about 135,000. Whereas for your B1, right, your 1 bath layout, 2 bed 1 bath layout versus the B3 layout, the traditional one, the difference is about 215,000.
And then next is the 2 bed plus study. So 2 bed plus study, right, there's only one type, which is your type B4S, 700 square feet. Now this will be stack 9 and stack 19. So if you take a look, you take a look at all the 2 bedrooms are facing inner.
Right, so this is actually more comfortable and it's more catered actually for young families. Right, it's a decent size of 700 square feet and you get a study room, right, that can be actually quite flexible. That can become a storeroom as well.
Can convert to a storeroom.
The layout is a dumbbell layout and your kitchen can be enclosed. Right, so but there's no windows at the toilet and kitchen as well.
So I think if you're someone who favors the size a little bit more, then this is the kind of layout you can actually go for. So now we'll be giving our personal top choices for all the 2 bedrooms. So we'll be ranking number type B1 for our first choice, 592 square feet. Mainly because the kitchen, right, you get the only one that has actually have a window in the kitchen. Then you can enclose your kitchen and you also get a proper dining space.
Right, and also you can fit your queen size bed as well in both the bedroom.
And then number 2 will be our type B4S, 700 square feet. I think this is a very decent size for young families, first time buyers. Then you actually get the study.
Yeah, and as a study, you can be actually quite flexible with it as well. You can make it into a storeroom.
Number 3 and number 4, the reason why we actually chose B2 is just because of the size. I think not much difference between these 2 types. It's just maybe the quantum for B2 might be cheaper, will be lower. And then in terms of that, B3, if you like the traditional layout, then of course this might be your number 3 choice instead. So now we'll take a look at the 3 bedroom analysis. The first type is a type C1, 850 square feet. So I think developer quite smart. This is actually quite a unique size. It makes the quantum a lot favorable to a lot of young buyers. Easier to absorb. And you actually have stack 6 and stack 16. So in terms of this, I believe, right, the premium facing will be the south facing.
Correct.
Mainly because once you clear level 4, then I think you will get
very good view.
And then you get a pretty much standard size. But I think one thing good about this layout is that the 850 square feet, you actually have a storeroom over here in the kitchen area.
And one thing I know is actually is a dumbbell layout. I think it's quite rare for a 3-bedder as well.
Correct. And if you take a look, you actually can fit up to a 6-seater over here in the dining area, which I think is quite unique, especially for a 3-bedroom that's 850 square feet.
And we also have same thing. We have a Jack and Jill over here in your this bedroom 2 itself. Right, so this one you can potentially convert, just now we mentioned, to your second master bedroom as well. And make it into an ensuite private bath.
So I think there's opportunity for higher rental yield for this layout. If you take a look, what you can actually do is enclose the living room area and the balcony.
To become your 4th one.
Correct. I believe some buyers will actually rent it out this. Then this can actually be rented out as a co-living style. And that's where, if you take a look, based on 2005 PSF, right, your estimated purchase price is about 2.1. And then looking at gem residences, the rental is about 5,500 to 6,000 for a 3-bedroom. It might be possible to rent out at 6,500 if, let's say, you rent out to 4 individual, based on 4 individual rooms.
Very, very possible, I think, because we are looking at actually 3 common room, right, and 1 master room.
Correct.
So estimated for common room, we are looking at about 1,500, right? As master room wise, we're taking about 2,000. So 6,500, I think is very, very possible.
Correct, and that will give you a gross rental yield of, let's say, 3.67%, which is very, very high already. Yeah. So one thing we want to focus on is the target audience, basically the HDB upgraders. Who are these buyers that will buy from you, okay, in future?
I think it's very important because we always want to know, right, when we buy this project, right, let's say in the surrounding area, are the people that's gonna buy from you, can they actually afford to purchase your project in the future, in the resale market?
Correct. So Bidadari 4-room flat right now, prices are above 1 million already. Yeah, and these are all recent, correct, all recent transactions. So if you take a look at the affordability gap, right? Right now the average BTO price, I believe they bought about from 430,000 to 550,000. So we use an average of 492,000. And then today they are transacting at about 1 million. Okay, so the estimated proceeds is about 578,000 in cash plus your 180,000 CPF. Your total proceeds is about 758. So let's say today you were to buy a 3-bedroom 850 square feet and let's say 2.2 million. Future possible to sell at 2.5 million.
Possible.
Okay. So the required down payment plus your stamp duty, you require a total of 719,000. And that will means that the HDB upgraders can easily upgrade.
Can easily afford.
Correct. To buy a 3-bedroom as well. Now we have another 2 3-bedrooms premium analysis. Okay, next is your type C2, your 1023 square feet. Your next 2 layouts, right, not much difference. Your 1023 square feet and 1044 square feet. Okay, for the 1023 square feet, right, you're looking at stack 13. Stack 13 will actually take you over here. And this we suspect will be likely the premium facing. As previously we explained, once you reach level 4 and above, you actually clear, you get an unblocked facing. There's not much difference in terms of the layout, I would say. So for stack 7, this is where actually you'll be facing the main road over here. Yeah, so now we'll be giving our top choice for 3 bedrooms, but with no budget constraint. We'll be giving the likely premium facing, right, as top number 1. But this is taking into consideration that the premium facing is only about 3%. I think 3% you can definitely go for the premium facing. But if it's 3 to 5%, then you might want to consider still. But anything above 5%, I think that's where you need to go for the 1044 square feet. Other than that, the only difference between the 2 layouts is actually just the size difference is the foyer area only. Yeah.
The developer also added in a 3-bedroom dual key unit into the unit mix itself. So as for the unit size, right, we're looking at 1130 square feet. We are looking at stack 3. Okay, this is the road facing one. So I think for this kind of layout, right, it's more suitable maybe for families. Maybe they have elderlies. They want to, for the studio part of it, right, the elderly can actually stay over there.
Now they get a pantry as well. So
right, so just to take note, if let's say you actually have an intention to, rent out the studio itself, do take note that you might not be able, in fact, I think you won't be able to cover for your mortgage itself. Yeah. It's just that you will get a discount out.
In terms of the layout, I think I want to touch a little bit on the kitchen, because the kitchen is actually, you can actually have access to the balcony. Yeah, so that, correct. So actually, one thing good that's if you do heavy cooking or anything, then that's where actually can flow out to the balcony area. But other than that, it's pretty much if you want to, mainly if you want for your parents to stay or what lah. Correct.
Now let's do the 4-bedroom analysis. Okay, we have a total of 3 different types of 4-bedder. Alright, so now let's compare the D1 and D2 first. Okay, for the D1 itself, right, we are internal pool facing. We are 1216 square feet. Stack 8, right? It's an inner facing. Right, we have total of 39 units lah. So this layout is quite traditional, right? All the bedrooms, right, we can see they're actually facing the same pool view. We're able to fit an 8-seater over here at the dining area, and we also have a dry and wet kitchen. Again, all the bedrooms, right, they're able to fit a queen size bed. So as for the D2, type D2, right, is also 1216 square feet, just that now we are southern facing. Okay, it's stack 17 and is facing the HDB lah. Let's say you're on the 4th floor. Anything that clears the 4th floor again. Right, so again, we have 39 units. Just that the difference here, right, is your foyer area. D2 may have better facing compared to D1 because D2 we are facing the southern side. After you clear the 4th floor, you actually get an unblocked city view. But D1, of course, is not too bad as well because
pool
we are facing
as well. Yeah.
So comparing these 2 layouts, right, the main difference here is actually in the foyer area. Right, when we look at the D2 itself, it actually offers more privacy. Right, when we open into the unit, you don't look straight into the unit itself. But as for D1, right, when we open, you look
directly straight to the living room lah.
Correct. And also D2 itself, right, we have a more unique RC latch as well. And since both of the unit type, right, they are of the same size, and let's say the premium is not a lot, it's not very different, we should always go for the premium facing, the southern view for the D2 type. Okay, so after clearing the 4th floor, we're looking at a block city view. Okay, so let's move on to the 4-bed plus study analysis. Okay, for 4-bed plus study, we are looking at type D3S, looking at 1367 square feet, and it says stack 18, your inner facing as well.
Full facing
Okay,
as well.
we have 39 units as well over here. We have a proper study area with full windows. And all your rooms, right, they can actually fit a queen size bed. And we have a proper dining area as well to put your big dining table. And for those of you with a helper, right, this study room can actually become your helper's room. So I think the key question here is to ask, how much are you actually paying for this additional study room? So if let's say you are already paying for a very huge premium for this extra study room, right, we actually recommend to go for the bigger 5-bedder, considering later on we'll explain how rare it is to have a 5-bedder in Toa Payoh itself. Okay, so the top choices for the 4-bedder, right, will give number 1 ranking to the type D2 one. Number 2 will be coming in for the type D1, and lastly for the third one will be your type D3S, the one with the study. The reason why is because for the type D2, right, is because it's facing southwards, right, that will be your premium one. And for D1 is because it's inner facing. The reason why we went number 3, right, for the D3S, right, is because the difference in price, as you can see, right, is 377,000 just for an additional study room. We feel that you may be paying a bit too much for additional study room, which I think will make more sense actually to consider
Going
a
for the
5-bedder at this point in time.
Yeah.
Right? So for the 5-bedder, you know, we usually have an additional room, a proper room, right, that can actually fit a
And it
queen
comes
size
with
bed.
a private lift
Private
as well.
lift as well.
Correct. So it's just to understand that you might be paying a huge premium for the study area. So of course, if let's say the study area is much cheaper, then you might want to consider it as well. So
Correct.
But right now, based on 2005 PSF, that's where we see the difference. There might be a difference between your 1 and 2, right? To your number 3, there might be a difference of nearly
Too much already.
Yeah, correct. Close to 400,000 in terms of pricing for just a study area.
Right, it's not even a proper bed,
bedroom, yeah. Okay, lastly, we'll be analyzing the 5-bedroom. So for the 5-bedroom, we only have one type E1. So it will be a 1453 square feet. It will be stack 2 and stack 12, which are both the pool facing and inner facing as well. So when we take a look at the layout, right, you actually get a private lift lobby.
The important thing to take note is that in the whole of Toa Payoh, right, you're gonna be the only project, right, with private lift. So I mean, why is private lift important for 5-bedder? Because the more atas, it's gonna be more luxurious as well.
Luxurious living.
Okay, and the only other project that has a 5-bedder in the whole of Toa Payoh is Gem Residences.
Correct.
But that doesn't come with a private lift.
Correct.
Okay, and in terms of when we zoom into the layout, right, we do get a junior master over here, which some other projects may not have. Right, the junior master comes with an ensuite private bathroom. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, and 4 bathroom in total.
Correct.
Right, so 1 at the kitchen area, your WC. All your rooms, right, like we mentioned, all of them can actually fit a queen size bed. And we can see that the size, right, is very nicely spread out. And in the master room and the junior master, you can actually place a king size without any issues. So in terms of the kitchen wise, we do have a dry and wet kitchen. And we do have a storeroom at the back with a very nice and proper layout.
So for the 5-bedroom, I think we want to emphasize on the lack of supply in this area and what happens when there's a lack of supply. So if we take a look at Tampines supply, we take a look at Treasure. Okay, Treasure actually had about 110 units, 5-bedroom, 1668 square feet. And we look at the surrounding area in that area, the only other 5-bedroom was East Point Green. Okay, which is relatively very old already, TOP in 1998.
Correct. So I think one question that the buyers, when they first enter into Treasure at that time, was that, you know, there's 110 units. You know, is it possible to exit next time?
Correct.
Because there's so many units, right?
Correct.
So, but when we see upon TOP itself, we saw on Property Guru, right, there's only 8 units for sale. So it's very, very little. The reason why is because, right, when this kind of 5-bedder, when people buy, right, it's usually is for own stay. And when the project actually TOPs that time, right, they will find that you know, they are not gonna sell because they've waited 3 years already and it's for their own stay. There's going to be a very, very low percentage of people for trying to put their unit up for sale.
Yeah. So with the lack of supply, I think this makes Treasure very, very rare and very attractive to a lot of buyers who are looking for, a 5-bedroom with that kind of size. And we take a look at what happens when there is a lack of supply and what happens to the profits.
Correct.
So when we talk about the profits, right, the transactions in Treasure, it's almost close to $1 million.
Highest at 981 already.
Correct.
So only holding for 3 years. And they just sold earlier this year only.
And we take a look at Marymount supply as well. So Jadescape, Jadescape TOP just last year only.
Bishan area.
Correct. So 5-bedroom, 2099 square feet, there are only 39 units. And if you look at the surrounding area,
no supply as well.
Really no supply at all. And most of the projects are very, very old. So
we
you
have,
actually got
we have one.
We have one, correct. Sin-Ming Plaza, which is TOP in 1996.
Very old already. It's a
correct.
very old project.
So again, the performance of Jadescape and the profits you're looking at, it crossed 1 million for the highest transacted.
A very handsome profit.
Correct. Now looking back at supply in Toa Payoh area, right, you can take a look. These are your main competition.
Correct.
Yeah, so I think that's the main concern. You want to see who your competitors are. Now, the only one with 5 bedrooms are your gem residences, okay? And for the 5-bedroom, it's only 1313 square feet.
So ours was 1453 square feet and comes with private lift as well.
Correct. So the gem residence doesn't have a private lift. So we do a comparison between the 5-bedroom and Orie and gem residences. So first thing is actually the size in terms of the difference. Another thing that I like to point out is actually the entrance lah. Basically, the entrance for the gem residences, you'll be able to take a look at the living room.
And it's quite narrow as well.
Correct, quite narrow as well, this area lah, basically. And then one thing I think which is very, very important is that if you take a look at the bedrooms, the 5 bedrooms, it's not really evenly distributed.
Correct.
If you take a look at bedroom 4 and bedroom 5, you're not able to fit a queen size bed. But your bedroom 2 and 3 possible to fit.
Can.
Unlike Orie, where all your bedrooms you can easily fit a queen size bed. In future, right, I think it comes down to like who will be sleeping in the bedroom 4, who will be sleeping in bedroom 3.
That the parents have to make a decision from there.
Correct. Then it's very hard to choose lah. I think
Right.
for me and myself personally, it's very hard to choose who sleeps in that room, who gets the queen size bed. In future, when we talk about it, buyers who are looking to buy a 5-bedroom in Toa Payoh, it will be a comparison between either Orie or gem residences.
Right.
And
So for us, right, we will be the one with the advantage because of course we come with a private lift, and at that point in time we'll be a younger project and also a better floor plan whereby all the rooms are able to fit a queen size bed as well. We have come to the end of our project analysis. If you need help to make an informed decision to choose a unit in Orie or at anywhere else, you can always contact us.
don't forget to like and subscribe our page. Thank you.
Thank you.